Hi friends, welcome to Whisper and Learn channel, where you practice English and learn important life lessons. Every video has a story to help you improve your listening skills. These stories are simple, clear, and perfect for beginners. Learning English doesn't have to be hard. With stories, it's fun and easy. Are you ready to listen, learn, and grow? Let's start the story together now.
It was a sunny morning in the small town of Maplewood. The birds sang and the air smelled fresh. Lily Parker stepped outside her house, holding a leash. Her dog Max wagged his tail eagerly. Max was a small golden retriever with soft fur and kind eyes. Lily loved him more than anything in the world. Lily was 28 years old. She worked at a bakery in town. Her days were filled with baking cakes, making pies, and greeting customers. But when she went home, she often felt lonely. Max was her only companion. That morning, Lily decided to take Max to the park. She needed some fresh air. The park was her favorite place. It was quiet, with tall trees and a small lake. Max loved it too. He ran ahead, pulling on the leash, full of energy. Across town, Jack Bennett was getting ready for his morning jog. Jack was 30 years old and worked as a graphic designer. He lived alone in a small apartment. Like Lily, he often felt lonely. His best friend was his cat, Luna, a fluffy gray cat who loved to nap in sunny spots. Jack enjoyed running at the park. It helped him clear his mind. He put on his running shoes, patted Luna on the head, and headed out. The morning was bright, and he felt good. At the park, Max pulled on his leash harder than usual. Lily tried to keep up, laughing. "Slow down, Max," she called. But Max had spotted something. He ran faster, dragging Lily toward the jogging path. Jack was running along the same path. He was lost in his thoughts, enjoying the fresh air, when suddenly he heard barking. Before he could react, Max dashed right into his path, nearly tripping him. "Whoa!" Jack stumbled, catching himself just in time. Max wagged his tail happily and barked, as if saying hello. "I'm so sorry." Lily hurried over, holding the leash tightly. Her cheeks turned red with embarrassment. "Are you okay?" Jack looked at her, smiling despite the surprise. "I'm fine. No harm done," he said, brushing dirt off his hands. He crouched down and patted Max's head. "He's a friendly guy, isn't he?" Lily smiled back. "Yes, too friendly sometimes. I'm really sorry about that." Jack stood up. "Don't worry about it. What's his name?" "Max," Lily said. "He seems to like you." "Well, I like him too," Jack replied with a laugh. "I'm Jack, by the way." "Lily," she said, shaking his hand. For a moment they stood there, both smiling. Then Max barked again, breaking the silence. After that day, Lily and Jack began to see each other at the park more often. At first, it was a coincidence. They would wave and say hello. Max always ran straight to Jack, wagging his tail excitedly. Luna, Jack's cat, stayed at home, but Jack often told Lily stories about her. One morning, as Lily threw a ball for Max, Jack jogged by and stopped to say hello. "You're here early today," he said, slightly out of breath. Lily smiled. Max couldn't wait to get outside. He's been restless all morning. Jack laughed. Maybe he was hoping to see me. He crouched down and scratched behind Max's ears. Max barked in agreement, and Lily couldn't help but laugh. A few days later, Jack showed up with a frisbee. "Does Max like to play fetch?" he asked, holding it up with a grin. "Yes, he loves it," Lily replied, her eyes lighting up. Jack threw the frisbee far, and Max took off like a rocket. They watched as he bounded after it, barking happily. When Max returned, Jack threw it again, and the cycle continued. They spent the afternoon playing together, laughing as Max sometimes missed the frisbee and tumbled into the grass. While Max rested under a tree, Lily and Jack sat on a nearby bench. The conversation flowed naturally, and they found themselves opening up. Lily told Jack about her bakery job and her dream of opening her own shop someday. Her face lit up as she described the cozy space she imagined, filled with the smell of fresh bread and happy customers. "That sounds amazing," Jack said sincerely. "You'd be great at it." Lily smiled, her cheeks flushing slightly. "What about you? What's your dream?" Jack hesitated for a moment, then said, "I want to illustrate children's books. I've always loved drawing, and I think stories can make a big impact on kids." Lily's eyes widened. "That's incredible. Do you have any of your work?" Jack nodded. "I've been working on a few ideas. Maybe I could show you sometime." "I'd love that," Lily said. As the sun began to set, Max trotted back to them, frisbee in his mouth. Jack reached out to take it, but Max dropped it at Lily's feet instead. "I think he's saying it's time to go," Jack joked. Lily laughed. "He's probably right." As they parted ways, Jack waved and called out, "See you around, Lily." "See you, Jack," she replied, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. Max wagged his tail all the way home, as if he knew something special was beginning. As the weeks went by, their friendship grew. They started meeting at the park on purpose. Jack began to arrive with 2 cups of coffee, always remembering Lily's favorite, a latte with a touch of vanilla. Lily, in turn, brought freshly baked treats for Max, who now seemed to consider Jack part of the family. One particularly warm afternoon, Jack suggested a picnic under the shade of a large oak tree. He spread out a checkered blanket and opened a small basket. "I thought we could try something different today," he said, his smile easy and inviting. Lily sat down, pleasantly surprised by the gesture. "This is lovely. I can't believe you planned all this." Jack shrugged, a slight blush creeping up his neck. "You've been baking for me and Max for weeks. I figured it was my turn to do something nice." As they ate, their conversation grew deeper. Jack told Lily about his childhood, how he'd always loved drawing, even as a kid, and how Luna had been his companion through some of the toughest times in his life. Lily shared stories about her late grandmother, who had taught her how to bake, and how opening her own bakery would honor her memory. "She sounds like an incredible woman," Jack said, his tone soft. "I think she'd be proud of everything you're doing." Lily's eyes shimmered with gratitude. "Thank you, Jack. That means a lot." Max, lying contentedly beside them, let out a happy bark, as if agreeing. One evening, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, Jack showed Lily one of his sketchbooks. "I've been working on something," he said, flipping through pages of whimsical illustrations. "It's a story about a dog and a cat who help two strangers become friends." Lily laughed, recognizing the inspiration. "That sounds familiar," she teased. Jack grinned. "Maybe, but I think it could be something special." She nodded, her heart warming. "It already is." As the weeks turned into months, Lily felt a sense of lightness she hadn't experienced in years. Jack's laughter, his kindness, and the quiet understanding they shared had filled a void she hadn't realized was so big. And for Jack, seeing Lily smile, hearing her stories, and knowing he'd made her days brighter gave him a happiness he hadn't known he was missing. One evening, Jack decided to invite Lily over for dinner. "Come meet Luna," he said. "I think she'll like you." Lily hesitated for a moment, unsure if it was too soon or too personal. But the warmth in Jack's invitation made her smile. "Okay, Max and I will come." The night arrived, and Lily baked an apple pie to bring along. As she walked into Jack's apartment, Max bounded in happily, sniffing every corner. Luna greeted them at the door with a curious meow, her soft fur shimmering under the warm light. Jack crouched down and stroked Luna. "She's a little shy, but I think she'll warm up to you," he said, glancing at Lily with a hopeful smile. Max barked softly, as if promising to behave, and surprisingly, Luna didn't run away. Instead, she perched on the armrest of the couch, watching Max with cautious interest. Dinner was simple but perfect. Jack had made spaghetti, his favorite comfort dish, and they sat at the small dining table in his cozy apartment. "This sauce is amazing," Lily said, twirling her fork. "You're a better cook than I expected." Jack laughed. "I'll take that as a compliment. But it's nothing compared to your pie. It smells incredible." They ate, talked, and laughed. Jack shared funny stories about Luna's antics, how she once knocked over an entire jar of pens just to sit in the empty jar, and Lily talked about Max's habit of stealing socks. The conversation flowed easily, their laughter filling the room like music. After dinner, they moved to the couch. Max settled on the rug, and to everyone's surprise, Luna hopped down from her perch and approached him. She sniffed Max cautiously, then circled him once before curling up beside him. Jack and Lily watched in awe. "You have a gift," Jack said, breaking the silence. His eyes were soft as he looked at Lily. "Even Luna likes you, and she doesn't trust strangers." Lily laughed, her cheeks turning pink. "Maybe it's Max. He's a good influence." Jack shook his head slightly. "No, it's you. You make people, animals too, feel comfortable." The warmth in his words lingered in the air. Lily felt a flutter in her chest, but quickly brushed it aside. "Well, Luna's approval means I can stay friends with her owner," she teased. Jack chuckled. She might insist on it. As the evening came to an end, Lily felt a sense of belonging she hadn't felt in years. And as Jack walked her to the door, Max and Luna following behind, she realized that this night was more than just a dinner. It was the start of something new. Months passed and Lily and Jack grew closer. They went on walks, shared meals, and supported each other's dreams. Jack helped Lily design a logo for her bakery. Lily baked treats for Jack's late-night work sessions. But their journey wasn't without challenges. One day, Max got sick. Lily was heartbroken. She stayed up all night worried about him. Jack came over, bringing soup and a kind word. "He's strong like you," Jack said. "He'll get better." And Max did. Seeing Jack by her side during such a tough time made Lily realize something. She cared about him deeply. He wasn't just a friend, he was becoming something more. One chilly winter morning, Jack had a surprise for Lily. "Come to the park," he texted her. "I have something to show you." Lily arrived, her breath visible in the crisp air, bundled in a thick scarf and gloves. The park was quiet, blanketed in frost, with the morning sun casting a golden glow over the snow-covered ground. She spotted Jack standing by the frozen lake, his hands tucked into his coat pockets. Max ran ahead of her, barking happily as he raced toward Jack. "Hey," Jack greeted, kneeling to pet Max before standing to meet Lily with a warm smile. "Glad you could make it." "What's all this about?" Lily asked, her cheeks flushed from the cold and curiosity. Jack held out a small sketchbook, his fingers trembling slightly, whether from the cold or nerves. Lily couldn't tell. "I've been working on something," he said, handing it to her. Lily opened the sketchbook carefully, her eyes widening as she flipped through the pages. Each drawing was a moment from their time together. Max leaping to catch a frisbee, Luna napping in a patch of sunlight, Lily laughing over a cup of coffee, the two of them sitting under the oak tree during their picnic. Every detail was beautifully captured, and each page felt alive with the memories they had created. "Jack, this is beautiful," Lily said, her voice trembling. Her eyes glistened as she looked up at him. "You remembered all of this?" Jack nodded, taking a deep breath. "Every moment. Meeting you changed my life, Lily. I didn't realize how lonely I was until you and Max came along. Now every day feels brighter. I think I'm falling for you." Lily's heart raced. The world around her seemed to fade, leaving just Jack, his earnest expression, and the warmth of his words. She closed the sketchbook gently, holding it to her chest. "Jack, I feel the same," she whispered. "I don't know what I'd do without you." For a moment, they stood in the stillness, their breaths mingling in the cold air. Then, as if on cue, Max barked and wagged his tail, breaking the silence. They both laughed, the sound light and full of joy. Jack reached for her hand, his fingers warm despite the chill. This feels right," he said softly. "It does," Lily replied, smiling up at him. "It really does." They walked back along the snowy path, Max trotting ahead, his tail wagging furiously. The morning sun continued to rise, casting a soft glow over the park, as if blessing the start of something new and beautiful. A year later, Lily and Jack sat together in their living room, surrounded by the quiet hum of their shared life. Max lay at their feet, his tail thumping softly against the rug, while Luna perched on the back of the couch, her eyes half closed in contentment. Their days had settled into a steady rhythm, one of warmth, trust, and companionship. Lily's dream of opening her own bakery had finally come true, with Jack's encouragement and support. The shop, Max and Luna's Bakehouse, was thriving, a cozy haven where locals gathered for pastries and coffee. Customers often brought their pets, inspired by the shop's playful name and the framed sketches of Max and Luna that hung on the walls. Jack, too, had found his stride. His illustrations had caught the attention of a local publisher, and he was now working on a children's book inspired by the story of Max and Luna. It was a tale of friendship, love, and the unexpected ways life brings people together. One evening, as they sat on the couch with steaming mugs of tea, Lily turned to Jack. Do you ever think about how different things would have been if Max hadn't run into you that day? Jack smiled, reaching over to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. All the time, he said. It's crazy how one small moment can change everything. In the quiet glow of that evening, they both knew some of the most beautiful stories begin with the simplest of moments. And those moments, when nurtured with love, kindness, and trust, could shape a life filled with endless possibilities.
Thank you so much for watching today's story. We hope you enjoyed practicing your English with us. Remember, every day is a chance to improve your skills. Keep listening to English stories and learning life lessons. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell so you never miss a new story. We can't wait to see you in the next video. Keep learning, stay positive, and see you soon.